Hi, hello. Have you ever thought why do Asians look like that? Me too. Anyways, today I'm gonna say something that might annoy you a little,
Oh shit, not good.
and I'm sorry if I hurt any of your teeny weeny feelings in the process. Any feelings hurt are for your own good. So let's get into it, shall we? Have you ever been stuck on someone who clearly does not give a doo doo about you? I'm not talking about a crush here, to be clear. I am not talking about butterflies and flirtation and fun. I'm talking about the all consuming obsession, the one where you check your phone every 5 minutes. One text from them carries your mood for the entire day, and one dry reply ruins your entire week. Yup, that one. That mental loop where they say one nice thing and it lives rent free in your head for the next 6 months. That's not love, that's limerence. And limerence is weird. Because on one hand, you so desperately want to be loved by this individual, but on the other, there's a part of you that genuinely does not believe you deserve any of that shit, because you're too sigma or something. That contradiction, that psychological split, that keeps you and your addiction going, is because that's what limerence really is. It's an addiction not to a person, but to a possibility. The possibility that if someone just loved you enough, fought for you hard enough, saw you deeply enough, maybe you could finally stop hating yourself. Because that's what hurts the most, isn't it? It's not just that they don't love you back, it's a meaning that we make from the absence. That maybe it confirms what you've always feared to be true. That love was never meant for you. That safety, that connection, and reciprocation were luxuries that you do not qualify for. I've been there too, man, where someone says one nice thing to you, and suddenly your brain is like, perfect, we are building a whole future around this. Fuck my doctorate, I need to pleasure Samantha no matter what, even if she were to spit in my mouth. You start imagining conversations, scenarios, outcomes. Meanwhile, in reality, they're just existing, living their life, not thinking about you whatsoever. But in your head, they have already become something more. Now, let's get into some psychology of limerence here for a moment because it's very interesting. Limerence is often tied to attachment trauma, especially anxious attachment. When love was unpredictable, inconsistent, or conditional, as a child, we learned to chase it. That love was never something given unconditionally. We believed we had to earn love by being enough, pretty enough, smart enough, low maintenance enough, quiet enough. So when someone shows up and gives us breadcrumbs, our brain lights up like we've hit the jackpot. Intermittent reinforcement is what it's called. The same system slot machines use to hook people, and that is exactly what is going on in your brain as well. It's one of the strongest psychological forces, and limerence thrives on it. It pushes and pulls. The almost, the mixed signals. It fucking hijacks your brain and calls it love when it's not. It's a compulsion to complete a narrative that was never yours to carry in the first place. That person is filling a hole in you. It's also taking the place and continuing the cycle of begging for love and never receiving it from a parent as a kid. We are repeating the cycle of what is comfortable, not healthy, because our nervous system gets used to what we feed it. And if we are fed the cycle of begging and wishing and hoping that we will receive what we need from a parent, we look for that because it's what we have always known. And what we always know is not always what is healthy because we think deep down we have been taught what love is that love is a game of endurance. So you stay, you overthink, you analyze everything that they say, you tell yourself maybe they're just like this, maybe I need to understand them better. No, true love isn't earned through suffering. You think that what you're craving is them, but what you're craving is healing. If you really wanted love, you would be in a relationship with someone who loves you, who texts you back, who shows up, who is, well, consistent. But instead, the dumbass is obsessing over someone that gives you nothing and that tells you something about yourself. It really does. You choose subconsciously to stay in this headspace because if you wanted to leave, you would say, I deserve a love that loves me back and leave. But you do not. Because deep down, you don't really believe that love is safe. You don't believe you're worthy of it. Limerence tells you that the absence of love is the only love you deserve. So you wait, you fantasize, you write mental stories about a version of them that will never exist. And here's the thing, you're looking for water in a dry well. And that does not make this other person Voldemort. It means they are exercising their free will and are not interested in you. Yeah, I know, fucking sucks, but it does not say anything about your worth. Limerence has so much more to do with you than it ever does with Voldemort. Because when someone does not like you back, it's your duty to walk away and find someone that does. But you stay. Why? Because Limerence does not care about truth. It wants hope. It wants to keep spinning the wheel just in case today is the day that they finally see you. It's not that you're actually in love with them, you're in love with the idea that someone could love you so hard that maybe you could love yourself. That maybe they could give you evidence that you can finally stop hating all the pieces of you that you do not know how to love. But no one can do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. So, my gooners and goonettes, how do you get out of limerence? You stop romanticizing starvations. You stop confusing neglect with mystery, mystique, and inconsistency with fate. You remind yourself that the person you're addicted to is not real. Not in the way you imagine, at least. Real and true love is simple, calm, mutual, and you need to stop asking, why don't they love me? And you need to start asking, why do I believe that love must be earned through suffering? And then you do the one thing that you would not want to do in a million years. You're going to fucking grieve, fucking cry like a little bitch. And I know it sucks, but do it anyway. You're gonna cry and rage and let the fantasy collapse. The future you imagined, the story you got attached to, you let it all collapse, stop protecting it, and let it all fall apart. This is never going to happen because it's not fucking true. And you know what you're going to do now? You're going to start choosing people who choose you back. You begin the terrifying, liberating work of becoming your own mirror, of seeing yourself not as a problem that has to be fixed, but as a soul to be loved. Because at the end of all of this, philosophically, limerence is existential. It was never really about them, it was all about you trying to fill something inside you with someone who was never going to stay. So we fill that hole with dreams, projections, imagined futures. We build shrines in our head to unavailable people because it gives us structure, something to orbit around. But what if the abyss isn't empty? What if it's the space where you live? What if it's home? What if it's where your real self is waiting? You learn to sit with the loneliness instead of escaping it. And eventually, quietly, without announcement, you realize you never needed them to love you. You just needed to come back to yourself.
जरा नजर उठा के देखो बैठे हैं हम यहीं बेखबर मुझसे क्यों हो इतने बुरे भी हम नहीं जरा नजर उठा के देखो बैठे हैं हम यहीं बेखबर मुझसे क्यों हो इतने बुरे भी हम नहीं जमाने की बातों में उलझो ना है ये आसान जानना खुद से जो अगर तुम पूछो है हम तुम्हारे के नहीं तेरी आंखों का जादू पूरी दुनिया पे है दुनिया की इस भीड़ में सबसे पीछे हम खड़े सबसे पीछे हम खड़े